Well, the Crystal Rogers murder case will take center stage in Bowling Green next week.
It's the second trial in the disappearance and presumed murder of the Bardstown mom. WDRB's Valerie Chin sat down with a legal analyst to talk about what's expected as Brooks Houck and Joseph Lawson face a jury.
In the Steve Lawson case, the reason members of the legal community were surprised that there was a conviction on the conspiracy, I don't think that the tampering with physical evidence charge was a surprise.
Steve Lawson was the first to go on trial in the Crystal Rogers murder case, and the second trial will be underway next week.
So looking ahead to Brooks Houck and Joseph Lawson's trial, this has two suspects on trial. What are some of the difficulties with that?
You've already had a case in Warren Circuit. You've had this pretty sensational trial where Steve Lawson's been convicted. There are certainly people in Warren County who didn't know about it before and now know all about it, and they've kept up with the press coverage. Your jury pool is now more tainted than it was before the Steve Lawson trial.
And while both Houck and Joseph Lawson are charged with tampering with evidence, Joseph is charged with conspiracy to murder, and Houck is charged with complicity to murder.
What charges are going to be hard to prove, you think?
The most difficult charge to prove in this case, I think that question is very easy to answer, and it is the complicity to murder with regard to Brooks Houck. In order to prove that charge, the prosecution should have to prove that Crystal Rogers has been murdered, and that prior to the murder, that defendant either solicited or counseled or commanded or engaged in some sort of conspiracy to commit the murder.
Legal analyst Greg Sims says there will be some overlap in evidence discussed from the first trial to the second one. In Steve Lawson's trial, the prosecutor brought up Brooks Houck's mother and brother as being co-conspirators, Rosemary Houck and Nick Houck.
Bringing up their names, they have not been charged. Is that a smart move for the prosecutor?
It obviously wasn't too bad of a move in the first case. Bringing up those names can be a problem if you don't know the judge's already okay with it. Judges don't like to be surprised very much. So if you bring up something that is not disclosed in evidence previously, that could be a big problem.
Well, the prosecutor brought their names up, but also didn't provide the evidence to back it up.
At this stage, they don't need to, and I think they'll need to back that up in any prosecution that were to happen of Rosemary and Nick Houck. But at this stage, it's very well possible that the prosecution just benefits from planting that seed into the jurors' heads.
The first trial lasted just 4 days. This trial is expected to take longer. Valerie Chin, WDRB News.